Hello, I'm SharpShot21. Welcome to my first ride of the new 2017 Ninja 650R. This bike is the non-ABS bike, though saying that it does have ABS on the rear wheels. They completely redesigned the Ninja 650 for 2017. Go over some of that in the intro video. And let's get right down to it. Before we get started, take a quick look at some of the features here that I don't see anyone actually talk about. Bike has integrated swing arm spools, or spool mounts. They are 8 by 1.25 millimeter swing arm mounts. As I mentioned before, integrated rear ABS, even on the non-ABS model. Something I don't see anyone talk about, really, is how much space you've got in your trunk. Trunk is actually fairly sizable. Keys in the bottom. Pick up on the front of the seat on this one as opposed to the rear of the seat like most. And then you actually have a fairly sizable trunk. I mean, it's probably 3 or so inches at the back of the seat. 4 inches, probably 8 inches or so, and probably looking at 4 inches deep. So it's not too bad. You've got the tool pouch under here. This is my registration and insurance. You got the battery, vacuum diagram. I'm not sure what's under here, but your battery's right there. Fuse block on this bike is under this panel, I believe. Not too bad. Front seat's held in with a clip and a little retainer bar with a rubber isolator. Just slides right in and locks down. Rear seat's got the retainer on the back and the latch on the front. Goes in and clicks. Got the little grab bar, but it doesn't do much. The nice thing with this one, fuel cap, hinged, spring loaded on the locking mechanism. The ignition, everyone knows about the steering wheel lock position. But on this one you've got hazard. So even with the bike being off and the steering locked, you can still push your hazard button and all your hazard lights work. Nice if you've disabled on the side of the road and you don't want to leave your bike unlocked. You can still lock the bike. Now to get from the lock to hazard, you just twist. You don't push down and twist. That's only from off to steering lock. Half digital, half analog display. This one's nice because you can, in the settings, you can adjust the sweep or where on the sweep of your tack needle it starts to flash. The tack needle acts as a shift light. Go through the display real quick. Got a gear indicator, clock, fuel gauge, engine temp, oil light, miles per gallon US, that's average, speedo, odometer. The top display, I believe, can be multifunction, be it full odometer, trip A odometer, trip B odometer, etc. The bottom is multifunction for the fuel, so you get average miles per gallon, instantaneous miles per gallon, trip A miles per gallon, trip B miles per gallon, that sort of stuff. I also have adjustable levers on both sides, both front brake and clutch. So now we've got the bases covered. Let's give this a spin. While I'm getting it started here, I will say this is my personal bike. I paid for it. I bought it brand new, fresh out of the crate. Wasn't even on the showroom floor. So I own this one. No one's paying me for it. Nothing. With that being said, I bought it from Ronnie's Motorcycles over in Bennington, Vermont. They are a fantastic group of guys. They bent over backwards to help me get this bike for a fantastic price. So if you're in Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, even New Hampshire, and you don't mind doing a little drive, Google Ronnie's Motorcycles. I know there's a couple in New York, one in Massachusetts, and one in Bennington. Now, getting into the bike a little bit, I am still in the break-in. It's 166 miles on the bike, so it's not quite a first ride, but I'm going to try to give you my first impressions on this thing. Right off, it's an extremely comfortable seating position, at least for me. I'm about 6'6" or so. So I'm tall, but I don't feel scrunched up on this. I've done like 2 hours in the saddle at a go on this guy so far. And I really wasn't running into any issues with the seating position. All the issues I ran into were with how my equipment was set up. And now that's been fixed. All the controls are right where you expect them to be, as far as the handlebar mounted controls. On the right control pod, you've got the engine kill switch and the starter switch. On the left control pod, you've got your horn, your blinkers, your high-low beam, hazard light switch, and it does have a passing switch, which is a nice addition. The engine is a 649cc parallel twin. A little bit tweaked from the last generation, making a little less horsepower and I think a little more torque, but that's to comply with the Euro 4 emission standards. Also, the new muffler is designed to help with that as well. There are two models available, the full ABS version and the non-ABS version, which this one is. I think the price difference is about $400 MSRP between the two. I want to say the non-ABS edition is like $69.99 and the ABS version is like $73.99. Other couple of things this has, it has a clutch assist, so it makes pulling the clutch in really, really easy, like stupid easy. And also has a slipper clutch, so downshifting, you're not going to lock up the rear tire if you don't match correctly, which is nice. It's the standard push to cancel blinkers. So nothing out of the ordinary there. The bike itself is about 44 pounds or so lighter than the old model, the old 2015 model. So the non-ABS version comes in at just under 400 pounds. The ABS version comes in just over 400 pounds. You wouldn't know it though, they're so light. I mean, they just, anywhere you point them, they're going to go. They fall over easy, they stand up easy, they lean right into the corners without you having to force it, which is really nice. Coming from a SV07 where sometimes you got to force it to lean over into the corner, I really like this. Oh, the other thing the display has, which I really didn't notice, is if you look under right next to the miles per gallon US, there's a little symbol. That's your eco mode symbol. So if you're not running the snot out of the bike, that's going to show up saying you're driving it fuel efficiently. Not really too much of a problem from what I've seen. I did 160 miles on this thing on like 3.5 gallons of fuel. So you're looking at upwards of 50 miles to the gallon fuel economy. Good luck finding anything that's, I mean, some of your smaller displacement bikes are going to get that fuel-wise. Even some of your bigger displacement bikes are going to get that. So it's kind of average. It's not terrible. It's workable. Let's see, what else we got? Tires on it are actually fairly narrow, front and rears. It's not got like a 180 on the back. It's got like, I think, a 160. So, no worries about huge tires, which also makes it lean over nicely. The smaller your rear tire, the easier it's going to lean over, the easier it'll stand back up. Right now I'm 5th gear, just under 4,000 RPM, 45 miles an hour. So there's plenty of power in the bike. I've heard it'll do triple digits in 5th gear. I'm still in the break-in, so I'm not gonna run it up that high. And then you still have all of 6th to go through. So I'm betting you'll do mid 110 or mid 100 teens, maybe 120s. The mirrors on the bike for motorcycle mirrors are actually fairly decent. I do have to chicken wing a little bit. I haven't spent a whole lot of time setting them up though, but I don't really care if I have to chicken wing. So long as I can get a general idea of what's behind me without too much effort, I'm okay. See, for these corners up here, of course I've got the minivan in front of me. But you just lean it over and she goes. Very smooth on the power delivery. Very easy on the throttle. First gear isn't even all that bad for moving the bike around at low speeds. A lot of bikes, it's kind of herky-jerky. This one's okay. I mean, you feather the clutch a little bit and you ride the rear brake. And she does what you want her to do. Shifting is super smooth, very crisp. It is the standard 1 down, 5 up pattern that we all know and love. I don't think this one can be converted to GP shift, but I haven't really looked at it, and it's not going to matter to a whole lot of people. The suspension, they did relocate on this model the rear suspension unit, both the strut and the spring, to the center of the bike, so it does make it a little harder to get at, to adjust, but you can still do it. The tools are in the toolkit. The fronts are non-adjustable unless you replace the tube or the valve pack and springs inside of them with something different. So they do have different ones available. It's a very easy riding bike. I'm not sure I'd necessarily recommend this as a first bike for somebody, unless they were had some dirt experience on some larger dirt bikes, or were a little bit older, and were able to self-discipline enough to ride the bike responsibly. Kawasaki does recommend it for new riders, but I'm a proponent of starting on something in the 250 to 300cc class. This only has a little bit more horsepower and torque than a Yamaha R3, but it does make a difference. I'll go up a little bit further. I'll pull off and we can give the bike a listen. Let you hear the exhaust. I don't have any highway to do, but you can kind of get a sample of the wind noise right now. You can hear my helmet whistling and being buffeted. It's not too bad on the wind block. I do still have the windscreen in the lowest position. It's an adjustable windscreen, 3 positions, and then companies like Puge make taller windscreens for this bike. I believe it still uses the same mounting pattern for the previous generation Ninja 650, but I could be mistaken there. But I can get a taller one if I need it, or if you guys decide to get this bike and you need it, there are other options available. I don't mind the little bit of wind buffeting I've got right now. If I was going to go on a longer trip, I'd probably raise the windscreen a little bit, but a lot of the wind I'm getting isn't from road speed, it's just there. It's a little windy out today. So you get what you... It's part of riding. You're out in the elements, it's part of what makes it fun. Alright, we'll pull off up here in just a second. We've got a good sized parking lot. Another thing this bike does have is a neutral finder, or a neutral assist. I forget what they call it exactly. What that means is, though, if the bike isn't moving and you've got it in first gear and you go to click up, you're only going to find neutral. It won't go any higher. It also has a foot cutoff, or a kickstand lockout. I'll power cycle it just for you. Otherwise the headlights stay on. So it does have the underslung exhaust, which is nice. I like underslungs. Undertails not so much. Underslung, definitely. But give it a listen on the startup, and then I'll rev it a little bit and you guys can listen to the engine. So, got a little bit of a throaty growl, but it kind of just putters. And once you put it under load, it just purrs. It does come with Dunlops. I think they're the Sport Max. That's just the factory tire. Got single piston Nissans up front. I think dual piston Nissan, or single piston Nissans in the back. Dual piston Nissans up front, and it's dual rotors, which is nice. You've got flush mount turn signals up front, and you've got the fender in the back. But I mean, that doesn't even look terrible. It definitely gets swapped. It's definitely getting an eliminator. But as far as fenders go, I mean, that's not bad. It's fairly okay. Granted, it's not great, but I digress. This is the pearl white coloring. I'm not sure how well it'll show up on the camera. And there's your front. You do have the two upper eyes, and then driver's right is your low beam, which is always on. Driver's left is your high beam. It's a pretty good looking bike so far. Very enjoyable, very well, easily to handle. No big surprises. And she's done everything I've thrown at it without complaint so far. Well, we'll see if we can get a little bit of a run. And we'll end the video. Of course, we'll get some traffic, but that's okay. And then she gets right up to speed, just pulls and pulls. And one other thing it does have, or has the option to have, from Kawasaki, you can get a factory 12-volt outlet that'll mount right next to the gauge cluster right there. And that's just a cigarette lighter standard 12-volt outlet. Well, that's kind of nice to have, because then you can put your van mount on, have your charger, put your phone up in front. and relax. While we're headed back up to where we started this, I want to thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this, please hit like, please subscribe. I will have more stuff coming out. I'm just starting the channel going. I know it's not the best time of year to be doing it because it's September and we're going to have snow on the ground up here in a couple of months. But I'll try to put out 1 to 2 videos a week on the motorcycle until it's too cold to ride. If the weather's just too poor to ride that week, I might do something from my car. If you guys like the video or like what I'm doing, let me know down in the comments if you want to see me do anything else. Other first rides I'll try to do. If I get a ton of content or a ton of response to the videos, I'll try to work something out with Ronnie's and see if they'll let me test ride some bikes that they've got that you guys are looking at. Let you know how they ride, what my impressions are, see if we can get them some business from you guys, or at least show them that there's some interest in New England for people wanting to know how bikes behave, how they feel before they go and drop a none too significant amount of money on them. But if you guys can make that happen, I'll make the videos happen. I've also got a couple of other bikes I can do first rides on. I've got another couple of videos for first rides in the works too, prior to when I got this bike. Once the snow hits, I'll probably do at least 1 in-car video a week, and I'll do some garage stuff or something. Maintenance videos on this are definitely coming. Maintenance videos on a couple other bikes might happen, might not sure yet. Car maintenance videos are definite. And we'll play it by ear. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll see what I can do to get those happening. Well, again, thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. And if you like this, hit like, hit subscribe again, please. It really helps me out. It'll help you guys out finding me again. I will try to notify you guys when a new video comes up. I will push that button that says notify subscribers. And for now, and until next time, keep the rubber side down.